Just like there are two faces to a coin or two sides of the moon, shows on Netflix tend to be the same. Most of their shows are either average or below average, and when it comes to adapting our favorite books, comics, anime, or manga into their live action shows, well, they have been absolutely criminal.
Fuck Batman.
But sometimes there do come a few great shows which totally capture the viewer's heart. And as all good things, they are as rare as a Stradivarius. Hence, I was very skeptical about the new live action adaptation of The Sandman.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
As a person who has not read the DC comics by Neil Gaiman, I jumped right into it with zero knowledge and expectations. It starts off with a slower pace, but at the end of episode 1, I was totally hooked. Few episodes felt it was dragging the plot too much, but just then it twists into a new track of storyline very swiftly, and the show really picks up the pace from episode 6. Each episode spins a new and different tale, yet all of them are interconnected like different threads weave together to create a beautiful tapestry. The Sandman has a star-studded cast of characters, and Tom Sturridge as Dream was perfect. His acting and dialogue delivery was extraordinary. I could feel the commanding air or aura around him, which gave off the vibe that yes, he is one of the endless.
I am the king of dreams, ruler of the nightmare realm.
I've heard from the fans of the comics that few of the characters have been race or gender swapped, like Death, Lucifer, and others. And I can understand their displeasure. When you have known the characters in their own original graphic novel rendition, shown through the years, and formed an image of them in your mind for years, it is not correctly depicted on screen, you do feel resentment. And no, it's not toxic fandom.
Just be toxic.
I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate.
Me personally didn't feel too bad about those characters, maybe because I have not read the comics. But I do have a major gripe about gender bending John Constantine. First of all, I don't like the actress Jenna Coleman. She has been insufferable in Doctor Who, and she has been smug and insufferable here as well. I could accept her as Joanna Constantine, who was the ancestor of John, and not as the present day substitute for John Constantine. I loved the Hellblazer comics and the show on NBC, and Matt Ryan kinda grew on me as John Constantine.
My name is John Constantine. You're pointing that the wrong way.
Although they did him dirty in the CW Arrowverse shows, I still wanted to see him in the Sandman, and not bloody Joanna fucking Constantine.
My name is John Constantine. I'm the one who steps from the shadows, all trenchcoat and arrogance. I'll drive your demons away, kick them in the bollocks and spit on them when they're down, leaving only a nod and a wink and a wisecrack. I'll walk my path alone, because let's be honest, who'd be crazy enough to walk it with me?
I'm unsure if there has been any other alteration from its source material, but altogether the story is well thought and masterfully told. Gaiman is adept in weaving mythology, theology, folk tales, fairy tales, legends, and real-life horror and crime stories into his tales throughout the Sandman series, and the convincing characters that suit the morphing story so well. Like a Mobius strip, simple yet fascinating. So far, my favorite episode has been episode 6. Absolutely loved the interaction between Dream and Death, while she goes about her task reaping souls. This scene gets me every time.
afraid so. So there is, little one. That's all you get.
As well as the story of Hobgadling, which Death remarked as Dream's ongoing project. I felt the makeup of Dream through the ages could have been done better, but the whole premise of the story was very amusing. I would love to watch an entire episode of Dream, Hobgadling, and Etrigan conversing and sharing their life story with each other, and Constantine gate crashes them. Even though episode 6 was my favorite, episode 4 comes a close second. From the scene where Dream meets Nada, his lover, imprisoned for 10,000 years, to the scene where Dream battles Lucifer playing the oldest game. Although it didn't impact me as intended, as I watched a similar yet a better sequence in an anime, No Game, No Life, before, where the heroes play the game of Shiritori with their opponent. The whole sequence in Hell was engaging, and the remark by Dream at the very end topped it off quite nicely.
What power have dreams in hell?
Tell me, Lucifer Morningstar, what power would hell have if those here imprisoned were not able to dream of heaven?
But not everything is outstanding about the show. There are a few elements which I absolutely abhorred, like the 5th episode where it felt like it dragged about too much, and bringing out one's true feelings doesn't mean just turning them gay and lustful. Only part of the story where I felt it was too simple and unimaginative. It could have been done much better and on a grander scale, and not just at a single diner episode. And I felt David Thewlis was totally wasted on that role. All over, I felt the wokeness was too heavy-handed in this show. The world Neil Gaiman created was already vast, and there was opportunity for a diverse cast. But it was not good enough for them, so they dialed it up a few extra notches, as if in this world heterosexuals are the minority, and not the other way around. And as much as I wanted to like Matthew the Raven, I felt he was too timid as an endless is familiar. Apart from that, few other aspects I really liked about the show. How they turned Cain and Abel into comic relief. Cain killing Abel at every slide, and Abel coming back from the grave grateful for not burying him too deep. The Corinthian was a really good fleshed out character, and Boyd Holbrook did a fantastic job at portraying him. I also loved Dream's evolution as a character throughout the show. How from stoic and ungiving he turned compassionate and more welcoming character. How at first he was harsh and uncompromising towards his underling. Even during the century he spent as a captive, stripped of all his power, he did not move or utter a word. But slowly throughout the show, after interacting with different people, he started to change and open up to people. He finally found a friend in Hobgadling and became a more benevolent master towards his underlings. He even pardoned Fiddler's Green and the Nightmare Gold, who actually reminds me of Black Silver Surfer, and turns her into a dream. And Morpheus is definitely my favorite character of the show. All in all, if you can overcome or ignore the wokeness, the Sandman tells a decent story which everyone can enjoy. It has a multitude of ideas from mythology to crime stories spun into one story. And this was just the beginning. After watching The Sandman, I can't wait to get my hands on the original comics, and also eagerly waiting for the second season. Ultimately, I would definitely suggest everyone watch The Sandman.
Close your eyes and enter my realm.
So that's it for today. I'll see you again very soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.